Drake released his PR statement, The Heart Part 6. Robin Lundberg joined by Kevin Zwicker in his OVO pajamas. You're not wearing them to the club when they're doing that OVO.
First of all, bro, I don't want to be in a club that is playing that song, man. I seen a video of a dude with a saxophone playing in the club while that was going on. If that's the type of club that's playing that song, I want to stay home.
When are we going to call you a recovering Drake fan? At what point?
Dude, I have a tattoo on my hand, bro. I feel like I'm locked in no matter what.
Can you show it again? Because people have seen it on the actual show, but for anybody watching this video.
It's kind of tough, bro, with the PJs on.
All right. But, he has an OVO tattoo. And
I got it. Hold on.
I've brought Kevin on during this process because, he's such a big Drake fan. And I wanted to make sure that I had that side represented. And Drake just dropped the new track, The Heart Part 6, which, by the way, I want to say, for the record, is his best song in the battle. I like it the most. It's my favorite of his songs from the battle. It's the most sonically interesting to me. I think his flow is strong on it. I liked the third flow on Family Matters. That's my favorite flow that he had used prior to that. Like the push-ups one sounds just too much like Drake, and Family Matters as a whole sounds too much like Drake to me, and that's, I guess, part of my issue. I just don't rock with Drake's music. It doesn't excite me that much. But let's get to the substance of this response and not like the us, because to me, this track, the ultimate takeaway is he had to address the pedophile allegations, and it's almost like an Apple Notes, basically, I didn't do this, which is not the best ammo for a diss track. And number two, at the end, he quit. I mean, that I think is going to be the lasting legacy of the song, that he quit the battle.
That is not at all what I took from that, man. I didn't take it as he quit. I took it as the mic was dropped because there was nothing else left to say. It's like it's like in a wrestling match, pinning your opponent, winning, and then be like, oh, that person quit because he stopped fighting his opponent. Like, where does the quit come from?
How did he win? I don't understand. Look, let me also be clear. I give up no Fs about the gossipy part of this battle. Never have. Never did. I didn't give. You've heard me say it before. I didn't care about the story of Adnan. Didn't care about the Adonis reveal. Never cared about that. That's not the school of rap battle that I come from. The school of rap battle that I come from and I like to consume is who's nicer on the mic, who's got better songs, who's got better delivery, who did more damage with their tracks. And that's where I think Kendrick won this going away, because Drake here, he says at the beginning, like, I put a mole in me. I don't care. I don't care either way. Like, to me, it doesn't matter. And there's no way to prove either side of it. Like, he said he didn't do it. Doesn't mean, or he says he doesn't have one, or he did this. Doesn't mean it's true. Just like when Kendrick says it, doesn't mean it's true. Like, I don't know. There's no way to actually, other than like feeding TMZ and saying sources close to Drake have said this isn't true, which to me means you think TMZ is part of this battle, which it shouldn't be. And IG shouldn't be part of this battle. I don't care who likes whose Instagram posts and who follows or unfollows who on whom. And then some of the other stuff, the wife beater thing, Kendrick has responded to that in the past. He's been asked about it and answered it. And he already responded in this battle by saying that you heard Mr. Morale and you're spinning your narratives based on that song.
But you got to give this to Drake, Robin. If the biggest song of this battle, which was Meet the Grams, was all made up, I mean, that kind of is a big dent for Kendrick in this battle. If you want to just go bar for bar, okay. Me and you can be in agreements. Drake was never going to go bar for bar with Kendrick. Kendrick is the superior lyricist than Drake. I've always thought in my mind that Drake is a superior song maker and a more versatile artist than Kendrick, but Kendrick is more of the bars guy between the two. But if the biggest song that he came out with was basically put out by Drake and we've discovered is all lies, doesn't it kind of nullify a lot of the heat that was going in for Kendrick in this battle?
Well, we don't know if it's all lies. We have no idea. We have no idea if it's true or not. Like, how? How can we? Because Drake said it's not true, or Drake said this. It's the same thing as Kendrick saying it the other way. Like, there's no actual proof. And that's not my takeaway from Meet the Grams either. Meet the Grams was a maniacal, scary song with a haunting track where he's, again, this whole thing has been about deconstructing Drake's character. It wasn't about like one specific I dropped the T allegation. It was about your parents should be ashamed of you. You cannot raise your son. You have no integrity. And he's speaking to him in that way. And that's no longer the biggest track of this battle. The biggest track of this battle is Not Like Us. That song is not going away. It is viral. It is going to be played everywhere. And you're going to have people be doing a catch and response, TikTok-y trend, he's a 69 God, into the, OVO, now step this way, step that way. I mean, like, that's going to be everywhere. And that leaves a mark. And Drake had to address, because he can't just leave the pedo stuff out there, and we'll see where that goes too, just because he said it's not. Either way, like, again, anything that serious, I'm going to let the facts come out before I make judgment. The other stuff is gossipy. And then there's one other hypocritical thing I think Drake tried to use, and it's one of these internet, I feel like he stole this argument from the internet, is the R. Kelly Spotify thing. That's not him saying that behavior is okay. Like, that's not even intellectually honest. The logic there is, and I don't know what Kendrick even did, but if anyone were arguing to keep R. Kelly's music on Spotify, it's because it's a slippery slope argument. You take his music off, then, all right, do we have to go identify what anybody's ever done and take their music off? It's not about supporting R. Kelly or supporting his behavior. It's about policing platforms and censoring language and erasing music from history, like that sort of thing. No one defended R. Kelly, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And that's an intellectually flawed point to try to make.
I get what you're saying, and I actually agree with you. Me and you are on lockstep when it comes to that subject matter, but you can see how that can be twisted by a whole bunch of people and changed into a narrative, right? Just like I feel like a lot of the things that people are saying, oh, pedo this and pedo this with Drake, they're doing the same thing. Like, I feel like these type of people are trying to make it seem like, and I know that, like you said before, we aren't TMZ. We're trying to talk about the battle. But people are trying to lump Drake in to guys like Diddy and R. Kelly, who have had multiple women come out over the years, multiple settlements in court over the years, and they're trying to say Drake is just like them because of something you've seen in the TikTok or the whack job theories that people come up with on the internet.
Well, again, we don't know. Like, that is what Drake is saying, just like what Kendrick, we do not, like, from a journalistic point of view and being responsible with allegations that seriously, the remarkable part of it to me is that he made it catchy. Like, that people are going to dance and vibe to a song with that and say A minor, like, because that is one of the coldest bars anyone's ever concocted in the history of rap. Like, that whole sequence where he says certified lover boy, certified pedophile into the wop, 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 wop through the A minor is one of the hardest things you could possibly imagine. And that's why he has that Pulitzer Prize, because he's such a skilled author. I unless he's actually planning an album that is related to all this, and that's the central core of it, I'm cool with it stopping here. I was cool with it stopping after Meet the Grams, but I think that was brilliant by Kendrick to switch the tone so hard after that song, because you felt that way after that song. And then it's like, oh, okay, I'm dancing and pirouetting in my yard in the sprinkler system and all that to that West Coast bop, right? But yeah, I mean, that ultimately that I think was Drake trying to bow out on the Heart Part 6, which again, I think is his best offering sonically, but he loses the battle. He said, I quit. He tapped out.
I don't look at it like quitting, man. From what we've seen throughout this battle, right? Kendrick is willing to drop a song probably for the next 6 months about Drake. At what point are we supposed to end it? You know what I mean? Are we supposed to have Kendrick drop songs every single day and Drake drop every single day until the rest of the year? In your mind, what would have been the perfect ending if one of these guys didn't bow out?
Well, I don't think it should have. I think he barked up don't bark up that tree will fall on you. He picked the run, J. Cole gracefully bowed out before it could get to that level, because you're fighting somebody who's using guerrilla warfare tactics, who is just Kendrick is just dynamic as a presenter. Even that the whole bar of I make music that electrifies them, you make music that pacifies them. To me, that was foreshadowing. He was saying, my songs are going to kick yours, and the thing about Kendrick's songs is they all sound different. That's one of my criticisms of Drake, is all of his music. I feel like I'm listening to the same thing the last however many albums. And I will say this, the tone and delivery of some of the lines on Certified Lover Boy and For All the Dogs in particular, I found disturbing. The way he was talking about women, like, I did not rock with the vibe of those songs. From initial listen, it felt a little creepy to me. That doesn't mean what Kendrick is saying is true. That doesn't mean that. But it did rub me the wrong way. And Kendrick, from the very beginning of this, clearly does not like Drake and what Drake represents, and clearly is deeply insulted that anyone would put Drake on his level. And that was what he was trying to prove. He's trying to ultimately accomplish saying, you're a fraud, and I am at the top of the game. I'm making an example of you. I think that was his intent with this battle.
If that was his intent, man, I feel like he did that to himself, about the people saying, oh, Drake's on your level. I know you've made an argument about this, the cook food thing and all of that stuff, but I really feel that the fact that Kendrick doesn't drop regularly, it really affects his ability to be the top guy. Now, I've seen things on the internet, which I disagree, that people saying that this just proves to you the fact that Kendrick can drop it so regularly that he would be the top guy if he did drop as regularly as Drake. But we don't know. The guy isn't active enough, from my opinion, to be the top of the game. You can't be number one in the game if you're not always in the game.
He's number one right now. And that's the other thing. That's the other thing I thought Drake has just missed the mark on. He's not number one because he went at Drake. He's number one because them joints are hard. They're just great records. Like that is a great record. Kendrick Lamar could have been talking about cooking pasta on a stove or feeding ducks at the children's zoo, and that joint would bang. Like, it's a banger. Now it takes it to it's like an extra woo, don't get me wrong, but Euphoria is an amazing song and record. Meet the Grams in its own way. It's the one I'll revisit the least, but in its own way, it's an amazing song because it is so haunting. And Not Like Us is never going to stop being played. Like, it's never going to stop being played.
You know what I call those songs, Robin? I like to call those songs lyrical NyQuil. Because as soon as I heard them songs, I went,
that's not true about Not Like Us. I've seen your text messages.
That song is true. I think that song is hot. I will sit there and admit to the whole crowd, I think that song is hot. I will never listen to it because it's disrespecting Drake. But the other songs did put me to sleep.
All right. Well, you're in your pajamas. You can go ahead and take your scary hours owl nap. And hopefully Kendrick doesn't. K-Dot, don't drop right now. Do us a favor.
Don't, please.